Good morning, April 29th, 2021. I wanted to give a quick update on kind of where we're at. It's been a slow 2, 3 weeks. We went to the rush of all the inspections and looking for land and contacting and looking at research and repairs and worrying about this and worrying about that, and then it just dropped. And I think that's been one of the worst things. We just hit a point where at mid-April, the new buyer of the house didn't ask for any repairs. We didn't have to haggle or debate on any of that stuff. I fixed most of the important stuff as we were going along with the inspections. And so now we're just waiting to close on the 14th of May. So hopefully everything's smooth up to that point. Give you a quick update on the land. So where we're at on our property, as of tomorrow, it will be officially ours. We submitted all the paperwork and sent in the earnest money, and the title company there in Wilcox, it's Pioneer Title. They've been awesome. The staff there was really great. They answer all questions. They're very responsive, very quick to respond to emails. We were able to do online notary and all kinds of cool stuff to facilitate the process and get it moving along. So yesterday, I was able to wire the remainder of the money over. So we got all our notarization documentation, whatever requirements of that, yesterday afternoon, and so we're ready to close. So we'll be closing on Friday, and they were kind enough that they're going to overnight FedEx the deed to us after closing, and so we'll definitely have that deed prior to us leaving. So that's out of the way. That's great. We're very excited. It's almost hard to believe. Like my wife and I were looking at each other like, oh, we own land in Arizona. Anyway, we've been thinking about this for so long that for it to finally come to fruition, it's almost like it's, maybe it's almost hard to it's hard to process. It's hard to process. It's hard to accept. I mean, we're excited. It's like, whoa, this is happening. And so now the work begins here. Tomorrow will be Stacy's last day of work, and I'll be glad to have her here with me. We're basically going to wrap up everything in the house, everything that we're not taking with us, which, like I said, we're taking very, very, very little. We're taking tools and some clothing and some just personal effects that are so important to us that we're willing to travel and take them with us. So everything else is basically being given to friends, given to kids. We've asked the buyer of the house to come over and tell us what he wants, and if he wants stuff, we're happy to leave it for him. If not, everything else is going to the trash, unfortunately. But we just didn't have the time or the resources to try and donate all this material or do free sales, and we really wanted people in the house coming in and out, and it's just, there's a lot of reasons why we're doing it the way we're doing it. But so a lot of prep work getting ready to that, because basically on the closing on the 14th, we're homeless. We're not propertyless because we do have property in Arizona, but we are homeless. And so we do have family here that we could stay with a night or two or whatever if we want. But I think the plan for what Stacy wants is, like, we go to closing, we get our equity check, we go to the bank, we deposit it, and then we hit the road and just start. We're ready to start. So a lot of the questions I think people would have would be, well, why the desert, or why not buy a piece of property in, say, Missouri, where you can homestead and do off-grid stuff? And I mean, Tennessee, we're not that far from Tennessee, beautiful area in the mountains of Tennessee, Kentucky. There's a lot of states that are off-grid friendly and would allow you to do what you want to do. So just wanted to give you I think Stacy would agree, but maybe we can follow up with another video with her on it. But these are like my reasons for why the desert. Number one, climate. where we're going to be. High desert, 4,400 feet elevation. Very tempered climate. It's not like being down in the lower elevations where, Phoenix and Tucson, where you're 120 during the day, and it doesn't get that hot. The average highs are around mid to upper 90s. Lows in the summer months are in the 60s, 50s and 60s. Plus their monsoon season is May through July, August. So it takes out a little bit of that heat when you have the monsoon season come through. But it's very tempered climate. From all of our research and what we found out, it's for us. The climate's going to be good. Plus, I'm a year-round allergy sufferer here in Illinois, where the corn, soybean, farmlands all around us, and they're plowing and planting fields right now, and it just, man, it's bad. Thankfully, we've had some rain in the last couple of days, and it's taken all of that stuff out of the air, but I'm basically allergic to everything under the sun. So I'm hoping I'm going to get a reprieve in the desert. Number two, cost. When we were researching, thinking about where we wanted to live and how we wanted to live, I just couldn't buy the amount of acres that we purchased. I couldn't buy that same acreage amount at a comparable price. And that's, unfortunately, we're blue collar people. We're not doing this. We didn't hit the lottery. We didn't, we're doing this on our own. And although we have some monetary resources, we don't have a lot of them. So we're making changes within our means. So we're not financing any of the properties, not financed. We were able to do this stuff without incurring debt. And that was the big thing. So cost effectiveness. 5 acres for, $4,000. And it's ours. We don't want to just pay taxes every year. The taxes in the particular county that we're in are about 130, 140 a year. I pay $1,200 a year here for a corner lot with a house on it or $1,300 a year. And so out there I've got 5 acres, and I'm paying a fraction of the taxes. So yeah, cost effectiveness. So 2 boxes: climate, cost effectiveness. And number 3, as Stacy and I get older, we kind of are craving peace and solitude. Sometimes the rat race, and we're not really in a rat race. We live in a very small town, but it's just, sometimes it's like, I want to get away. We're big campers. We loved getting away and getting into places that, gave us some kind of quiet and peace. And so, that's where we want to live. We want to live in solitude and peace. So to me, the desert, Arizona, checked off, some major boxes. We know there's consequences. We know there's challenges are going to be had. Having to drive in, 30, 40 miles to go get a walk to get supplies and things like that. Well, you got to sacrifice to gain certain things. You got to sacrifice certain things. And if you're sitting here and, I just couldn't imagine living in a city again, a big city again, where it's just constant all the time. And so I'm willing to sacrifice that. I'm willing to have to travel a little bit for work, and I'm willing to travel a little bit for some peace and peace and quiet. If you guys have any questions at all, we do have a Gmail address. It's livinoffthesand@gmail.com, livinoffthesand@gmail.com. We're happy to be sharing this journey kind of as a documentation for us, and also maybe inspiring or helping other people along. We want to give information that we didn't necessarily get from other people's channels and stuff. So please comment. I'm happy to answer most questions within reason. But anyway, appreciate you guys. We'll keep you updated as we go along, and look forward to taking you on the journey. Have a good day.